So Brahmana is bringing the letter to Krishna and seeing that Krishna says that if you have no objections, I'm giving you permission to speak about your mission. Thus, being very satisfied by these transcendental pastimes with the Lord, the Brahmana narrated the whole story of his mission to come and see Krishna. He got out the letter which Rukmini had written to Krishna and said, "These are the words of Princess Rukmini. My dear Krishna, O infallible and most beautiful one, any human being who happens to hear about your transcendental form and pastimes immediately absorbs through his ears your name, fame, and qualities. Thus, all his material pangs subsides, and he fixes your form in his heart." So this is very nice to see. So that's where we were yesterday. We will continue. Through such transcendental love for you, he sees you always within himself. And by this process, all his desire become fulfilled. Similarly, I have heard of your transcendental qualities. I may be shameless in expressing myself so directly, but you have captivated me and taken my heart. You may suspect that I am an unmarried girl, young in age, and may doubt my steadiness of character. But my dear Mukunda, you are the supreme lion among the human beings, the supreme person among persons. Any girl, although not yet out of her home, or any woman who may be of the highest chastity, would desire to marry you, being captivated by your unprecedented character, knowledge, opulence, and position. I know that you are the husband of the goddess of fortune, and that you are very kind toward your devotees. Therefore, I have decided to become your eternal maidservant. My dear Lord, I dedicate my life and soul unto your lotus feet. I have accepted your Lordship as my selected husband, and I therefore request you to accept me as your wife. You are the supreme powerful, O Lotus Ivan. Now I belong to you. If that which is enjoyable for the lion to eat is taken away by the jackal, it will be a ludicrous affair. Therefore, I request you to immediately take care of me before I am taken away by Sisupal and other princes like him. She continued, "My dear Lord, in my previous life, I may have done public welfare work like digging wells and growing trees, or pious activities such as performing ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifice, and serving the superior spiritual master, the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. By these activities, perhaps I have pleased the Supreme Personality Godhead Narayan. And if this is so, then I wish that you, Lord Krishna, the brother of Lord Balram, would please come here and catch hold of my hand so that I may not be touched by Sisupal and his company." Rukmini marriage with Sisupal was already settled. Therefore, she suggested that Krishna kidnap her so that this might be changed. This sort of marriage in which the girl is kidnapped by force is known as Rakshasa and practiced among the Kshatriyas or the administrative, martial, spirited type of men. Because her marriage was already arranged to take place the next day, Rukmini suggested that Krishna come there incognito to kidnap her and then fight with Sisupal and his allies like the king of Magda. Knowing that no one could conquer Krishna, and then he would certainly emerge victorious. She addressed him as Ajit, the unconquerable. Rukmini told Krishna not to be concerned that many of her family members, including other women, might be wounded or even killed if the fighting took place within the palace. As the king of the country, think of diplomatic ways to achieve his object. Similarly, Rukmini, being the daughter of a king, was diplomatic in suggesting how this unnecessary and undesirable killing could be avoided. So, Rukmini explained that it was the custom of her family to visit the temple of goddess Durga, their family deity, before marriage. The Kshatriya king were mostly staunch Vaishnavas, worshipping Lord Vishnu in either the Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Rani forms. Some of the less intelligent men. In order to avoid the unnecessarily killing of her relatives, Rukmini suggested that it would be easiest for him to kidnap her while she was either going from the palace to the temple or else while she was returning home. She also explained to Krishna why she was so anxious to be married to him, even though her marriage was to take place with Sisupal, who was also qualified. Being the son of a great king, Rukmini said that she did not think anyone was greater than Krishna, not even Lord Shiva, who is known as Mahadev, the greatest of all demigods. Lord Shiva also seeks the pleasure of Lord Krishna in order to be delivered from his entanglement in the quality of ignorance within the material world. In spite of the fact that Lord Shiva is the greatest of all great souls, Mahatmas, he keeps on his head the purifying water of the Ganga, which emanates from a hole in this material universe made by the tool of Lord Vishnu. Lord Shiva is in charge of the material quality of ignorance, and in order to keep himself in a transcendental position, he always meditates on Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Rukmini knew very well that obtaining the favor of Krishna was not an easy job. If even Lord Shiva must purify himself for this purpose, surely it would be difficult for Rukmini, who was only the daughter of a Kshatriya king. Thus, she desired to dedicate her life to observing severe austerities and penances, such as fasting and going without bodily comforts. If it were not possible in this lifetime to gain Krishna's favor by these activities, she was prepared to do the same lifetime after lifetime. Haribol. What a exemplary dedication. She just wants Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the pure devotees of the Lord execute devotional service with great determination. Such determination, as exhibited by Rukmini Devi, is the only price for purchasing Krishna's favor and is the way to ultimate success in Krishna consciousness. So we have to become determined in our practice. So we cannot allow the lethargy to enter in our practice. This is what it takes to purchase Krishna's favor. So after explaining Rukmini Devi's statement to Krishna, the Brahmana said, "My dear Krishna, chief of the Yadu dynasty, I have brought this confidential message for you from Rukmini. Now it is placed before you for your considerations. After due deliberations, you can act as you please. But if you want to do something, you must do it immediately. There is no much time left for action." Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 51st chapter of Krishna, Krishna Dhiran Chod. So chapter 52, Krishna happily kidnapped Rukmini. So after hearing Rukmini's statement, Lord Krishna was very pleased. He immediately shook hands with the Brahmana and said, "My dear Brahmana, I'm very glad to hear that Rukmini is anxious to marry me, since I'm also anxious to get her hand. My mind is always absorbed in the thought of the daughter of Bhismaka, and sometimes I cannot even sleep at night because I'm thinking of her. I can understand that the marriage of Rukmini with Shishupal has been arranged by her elder brother in spirit of animosity toward me. So I am determined to give a good lesson to all of these princes. Just as fire is extracted and utilized after manipulating ordinary wood, similarly, after dealing with these demoniac princes, I shall bring forth Rukmini like fire from their midst." Haribol. So Krishna, upon being informed of the specific date of Rukmini's marriage, became very anxious to leave immediately. He asked his driver, Daruka, to harness the horses for his chariot and prepare to go to the kingdom of Vidarbha. The driver, just after hearing this order, brought Krishna's 4 special horses. The names and descriptions of these 4 horses are mentioned in the Padma Purana. The first one, Saivya, was greenish. The second, Sugriva, was grayish like ice. The third, Meghapuspa, was the color of a new cloud. And the last, Balahaka, was of ashen color. When the horses were yoked and chariot ready to go, Krishna helped the Brahmana up and gave him a seat by his side. Immediately they started from Dwarka and within one night arrived at the province of Vidarbha. The kingdom of Dwarka is situated in the western part of India, and Vidarbha is situated in the northern part. They are separated by a distance of not less than 1,000 miles. But the horses were so fast that they reached their destination, a town called Kundina, within one night, or at most 12 hours. Haribo, 1,000 miles in 12 hours. Even if we drive the car, it takes longer than that. So we can see what the advancement we have made. Arvind Prabhu can think deeply about this thing. King Bhishmaka was not very enthusiastic about handing his daughter over to Sisupal, but he was obliged to accept the marriage settlement due to his affectionate attachment for his eldest son, who had negotiated it. As a matter of duty, he was decorating the city for the marriage ceremony and was acting in great earnestness to make it very successful. Water was sprinkled all over the streets, and the city was cleansed very nicely. Since India is situated in the tropical zone, the atmosphere is always dry. Due to this, dust always accumulates on the street and roads. So they must be sprinkled with water at least once a day. And in a big cities like Calcutta, twice a day. The roads of Kundina were arranged with color flags and festoons, and gates were constructed at particular crossing. The whole city was decorated very nicely. This is the richness. You know, we cannot even decorate front of our house. Haribo. The beauty of the city was enchanted, enhanced by the inhabitants, both men and women, who were dressed in washcloth, decorated with sandalwood pulp, pearl necklaces, and flower garlands. Incense was burning everywhere, and the fragrances like aguru scented the air. Priests and brahmanas were sumptuously fed, and according to ritualist ceremony, were given sufficient wealth and cows in charity. In this way, they were engaged in chanting Vedic hymns. The king's daughter, Rukmini, was wonderfully so beautiful. She was very clean and had beautiful teeth. The auspicious sacred girdle was tied on her waist. She was given various types of jewelry to put on and long silken cloth to cover the upper and lower part of her body. Learned priest gave her protection by chanting mantras from the Samaveda, Rig Veda, and Yajur Veda. After this, they chanted mantras from the Atharva Veda and offered oblations in the fire to pacify the ominous conjunctions of different stars. King Bhishmaka was very experienced in dealing with the brahmanas and priests when such ceremonies were held. He specifically distinguished the brahmanas by giving them large quantity of gold and silver, grain mixed with molasses, and cows decorated with golden ornaments. This is richness, Haribo. What advancement have we made? There is no comparison. Damkosha, Sisupal's father, executed all kind of ritualistic performance to invoke good fortune for his own family. Sisupal's father was known as Damghosh due to his superior ability to cut down unregulated citizens. Dhamma means curbing down, and Ghosh means famous. So he was famous for controlling the citizens. Dharmakos thought that if Krishna came to disturb the marriage ceremony, he would certainly cut him down with his military power. Therefore, after performing the various auspicious ceremonies, Dharmaghosh gathered his military divisions, known as Madasravi. He took many elephants garlanded with golden necklaces and many chariots and horses which were similarly decorated. It appeared that the Damgos, along with his son and other companions, was going to Kundina, not completely forgetting the marriage, but mainly intent on fighting. Haribol. So when King Bhishmaka learned that Damgos and his party were arriving, he left the city to receive them. Outside the city gate, there were many gardens where the guests were welcome to stay. In the Vedic system of marriage, the bride's father receives the large party at the bridge room and accommodates them in a suitable place for 2 or 3 days until the marriage ceremony is performed. I have attended those marriages, in my early childhood. I remember that's a richness. The party led by Damagos contained thousands of men, among whom the prominent kings and personalities were Jarasandha, Dantavakra, Vidurtha, and Pondrika. It was an open secret that Rukmini was meant to be married to Krishna, but that her elder brother Rukmi had arranged her marriage to Sisupal. So there was also some whispering going on about a rumor that Rukmini had sent a message to Krishna. Therefore, the soldiers suspected that Krishna might cause a disturbance by attempting to kidnap Rukmini. Even though they were not without fear, they were all prepared to give Krishna a nice fight in order to prevent the girl from being taken away. Sri Balram received the news that Krishna has left for Kundina, accompanied only by a Brahmana. He also heard that Sisupal was there with a large number of soldiers. Suspecting that they would attack Krishna, Balram took strong military division of chariots, infantry, horses and elephants, and arrived at the precinct of Kundina. So we'll be looking forward to hear wonderful pastimes. We'll continue. We should be punctual in our practices. Time has come that the devotee has to perform other duties. So thank you very much. We can always remember this wonderful pastime during throughout the day and remember Krishna. And by remembering Krishna, all the problems goes away and we can remain peaceful. So with those thoughts, always remain happy, jubilant, and totally fearless. And whoever you come across, give them a kind word that their life can also become successful and totally fearless. With those thoughts, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the desk of these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, who is getting up so early in the morning and chanting beautifully. Look at even the small girls, they are chanting so beautifully. All the devotees everyone is improving. That's the power of the Sangha. So I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the desk of those devotees who joined from Houston, Fresno, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Aurora, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Boston, Boise, Atlanta, Phoenix, Tempe, Austin, College Station, San Jose, Portland, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, Naperville, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Baltimore, Baton Rouge, Alachua, Orlando, Sanford, Jacksonville, Ohio, St. Louis, San Diego, Loganville, Georgia, Maine, Ottawa, New Orleans, Toronto, Kolkata, and New Delhi, and Pondicherry. Haribol, hi. How can I forget? Let me write down over here. Gopika always joined from Pondicherry.
Oh,
And I forgot to send her the picture. I don't know why I keep on forgetting. Gopika is here today? No? She maybe joined later, or she must have joined before. But anyway, the devotees who has to go, they can leave, and the devotee who wants to stay behind and chant for 1 more hour, they are most welcome to do. I will chant until maybe 7:30 or so, and then we will ask the devotees last 30 minutes to chant. So let's concentrate again on the holy name. That's the perfection of our life. We should have so much desire to chant continuously many hours. And that's the reason we keep on Saturday. We chant from 2 a.m. to 11 a.m. Haribol.